Hey guys, I'm gonna have to apologize for how this video is. I had to shoot it with my cell phone camera because someone decided to steal my GoPro off my car when I parked at a store. So you gotta love society. In this video I'm going to show you what works best for rust removal on all different kinds of metal from stainless to galvanized. It's this, the must for rust. It works the best out of all of them, CLR, Evapo rust, whatever. But I'm going to show you how it works. I'm using a Harbor Freight ultrasonic cleaner to speed it up, and it's about 8 minutes, and the stuff just eats away the rust. I'm using it full strength, 32 ounce, runs about $7. All you do is you just pour it right in and let it work its magic. I'm going to set it for 8 minutes, and then what I did was I put the heat on it to see if that worked any better, but the heat is not needed. It works either way, with or without heat. It works the same. You can either ultrasonic actually buzzing to try to break that up. I think that actually works better, so I'm letting you guys hear the sound, and so there's going to be no music playing. After 8 minutes, this is how it looks. Now you can see that there's some discoloration to the galvanized, and I don't know if the rust did that or if the must for rust did it, but I believe that was due to the rust that was on the product on these clips, and that's why it got discolored, but it works. The test, I'm going to try it with some wrenches. Now these have been sitting in a 5-gallon bucket outside with water for over a year. I threw away some. The top of the lid had a crack in it, so it let water in, and it was stuff that I should have brought inside, but I left it outside for some reason. So I'm just putting it in. This is not doctored or anything. This has real rust. It's pitted. There's no scrubbing, there's no grinding, there's no sandpaper, sand it off, no sandblasting. All you do is just stick it in there for 8 minutes. You try to do 5 minutes, it'll be fine. 8 minutes and you'll see how it looks. This wrench is covered with heavy rust, and I'll just throw that right in. I don't have to grind it or scrape it off, and the must for rust will take care of it. You guys, a heads up, don't look in the upper left corner because you're going to see something. 8 minutes later, and the countdown is done. Okay, so now I'm using gloves. Gotta pull them out because this may affect your hands. It didn't do it with mine the first couple times, but I thought, well, it's a chemical, I might as well wear gloves. So pulling them out, I was impressed. It was really shiny. Some of them had a little spot, and you just had to take a towel and wipe it right off. It was basically diluted rust, so it was easy to clean off, but they came out better than what I thought would be. I've used Evapo rust, and Evapo rust isn't as good as this, and it gives it a different color kind of. So I'm just picking through the rest of this, and you're going to see how shiny these came out. FYI, that is a finger, and thank you for the person who stole my GoPro. How well does it work on impact sockets and other metals like brass and different types of iron, aluminum? So I'm going to throw it in there and see if it discolors it. These are pretty bad. You can see that that one is horrible pitted. So I'm just going to put that in. This one's going to be kind of like aluminum. This one's a brass punch. And the other ones are just standard little sockets I had laying around. I don't know about you guys, but at this point I always want to say set it and forget it, but that's a copyrighted phrase, so I can't use that. Another 8-minute round, and we'll see how these turn out. Now these turned out pretty good. The brass punch kind of looks like a little bit off color, but that may be due to the fact that it looked that way before. This universal joint, that came out really good. That was rusted up. The impact sockets came out good. Now I didn't have no prep for this stuff. You just throw it in there. Everything turned out good except this socket. Now this socket, that one looks fine. That one looks fine. The only one is that socket. That's a chrome socket. It looks pretty well pitted. The brass punch turned out good. Everything's turned out good except the socket. The socket's pretty pitted, so I'm going to try another round of it, see what our round does of it, see how much soak time it needs, and we'll see if another 8 minutes will do anything better with it, but I think it's going to need more treatment. Now I'm going to throw this wrench in there. You can see it's pretty well rusted. The box end wrench has tons of rust in there. I'm scraping the rust. It's not paint, it's actually real rust. And this one, I'm just going to throw it in there with the socket had it laying around to give another 8 minutes. So we'll see how good this goes, and let's see what happens. Now this actually exceeded my expectations. This looks brand new, like I bought it off the shelf yesterday, but it's been sitting in a bucket of water rusting up for the last year. The socket, that's going to have to be ground down. That's the rust ate into that metal, so that's going to have to be ground down, sandblasted, whatever, polished up. But this stuff does work.